it's your girl, Hope Your TV Movie Bestie, and I watch good shit. And I just got done watching the series finale of Raising Kanan. Now, I know y'all like, girl, what you got on? Well, I just left Marvin's funeral, and if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, that's another video I did. I'm gonna link it here, and y'all go watch that and have a good laugh. And this is my attire that I wore, so I just thought I would keep this on for this video. And also, I love a bad hat, and y'all get into it, because this is a bad hat. Rock, she's staring into space. Juke, she crying, reading the letter. We go to Jarita, who tells Kanan that she's pregnant. She keeping it, and if he want to be involved, it's cool. If he don't, it's also cool. Kanan's like, you know, Jarita, this actually means something to me. And she like, okay, well, I'll hear from you or I won't. The white boys, they getting lit at their house, and Breeze show up. Now, no need for conversation. Breeze gets straight to it. Bop, bop. 2 shots and they dead. Pino, he sits down with Rock out of the kindness of the loss of her brother. And she said, you know, I've been worse than this. And he's like, you've been worse off than your son kill your brother? Damn, I hate to be at your house for Thanksgiving. And in this moment, we realized that Rock did not know until that very second that Kanan had killed Marvin as well. And she just like, wow. And Pino said, oh, my bad. The street's talking. I thought you knew. She says, I want you to look out for me with Stefano on my behalf. You know, like kind of go talk to him. She admits that she needs Pino's help, that without him, she's vulnerable out here in these streets. And Pino, he starts telling her this story about this girl, Doris, how in school he was like a nerd. He wasn't well liked. He couldn't play sports. And him and Stefano, they lived in the same neighborhood. And Stefano was a big athlete. You know, everybody loved him. He had all the girls. One day, Pino met this girl named Doris. And for whatever reason, she liked Pino. And so she gave him his first kiss. He said it's the best kiss he ever had in life. And a week later, Stefano had hooked up with her and they were seriously dating. Basically, this whole story is about how Stefano always taking something from him. Because Rock like, I don't know what this got to do with our business. And Pino said, we ain't got no business. Y'all, I died because Pino presented the option of them having a romantic or sexual relationship, saying that that would give him a reason to then protect her. Pino, have you lost your fucking mind? And Rock was like, I'm good. She just left. Now, Juke, she go visit Flossie because in Marvin's letter to her, he said that Flossie was one of the only people that she could trust. Juke's like, you know who did this? And Flossie like, damn, Juke, I don't know. And I don't even know if you want to know. And she tells him about her visit with Kanan. And Juke started thinking. And she like, wait. You saying Kanan killed my daddy? And Flossie like, nah, I don't have no firsthand knowledge, but that's what I heard. Juke is pissed. And in this moment, I saw the switch flip with Juke. Because I feel like Juke had been turning cold throughout these past few episodes, but this was the moment when I saw her heart freeze. And I was like, I got this ice box where my heart used to be. Yeah, because there's no more Laverne at this point. It is straight Juke, the killer. Breeze tells Kanan that the white boy's been retired. And Kanan like, what about Snaps and Pops? Breeze like, I don't know. I don't know who put them down. And Kanan like, that's a cold move. Breeze is like, but I want you to know, just because Snaps and Pops gone, that don't mean Rock ain't getting this work. I still got to do my job because that came from up high. That came from Stefano. Kanan like, do what you got to do. Rock goes to make a deal with the cops. And she says she wants immunity and witness protection. And y'all, she said, I want it for Kanan too. I said, what the fuck, Rock? Are you serious? Girl. So Garcia says he's sorry for Juke's loss. He meets up with her. And he's like, you know who did this? Well, she's not really saying anything. And so he said, well, what about Snaps and Pops? You know, they gone too. And you did know that they put down your friend. Juke says, well, then I guess they got what they deserved. Garcia warns her not to do something that she will regret. And she says, too late. And I'm like, yeah, all that saving her, that's out the window. Juke is gone. The cops are confused as to why Kanan needs protection because they ain't really got nothing on Kanan. Rock's like, well, I got enough information on Pino and Stefano to put them away for a really long time, but I need to get what I want first. The lawyer tells her that he thinks they'll give her what she wants, but he's like, if you can really put Stefano and Pino away, you won't have to come with that because they serious about this. And she's like, yeah, I'm not lying. You need to make sure that they serious about their deal, because once I start talking, everything I thought I was going to be, everything I was, it's going to be gone. There's a memorial service for Snaps and Pops, and Stefano attends. And so he's talking to Lump, who gives like the obituary, and they start talking about Early because he knew Early since he was a kid. And Stefano is like, well, you know, he was a good man. I'm sorry he's gone, but I'm also pretty sure that the man who put him down just got put down himself, so that should give you some solace. And Lump says, well, it doesn't. And Lump goes on to say, I know you the dirty snake that nobody thinks you are. I don't trust you, and you gonna get yours. And I said, whoa. Pino, he comes to Stefano and he tells him Rock is all his. She's no longer of service to him. So Stefano is like, you ain't got to worry about that. The wheel's already turning on that deal. Pino says, good. Put her out of both of our miseries. Now, I just thought right here in this moment, I said, Pino, I think this is the last call for you, because we see that Stefano holds a grudge. Like, he don't let shit go. Even though he has now said, you know, it's okay to touch Rock, I somehow don't feel that Stefano is going to let it go that for so long he protected Rock. And he felt like he was going against him. They was homies. I'm just like, I don't think he over you, Pino, either. And I feel like once Rock is handled, he gonna handle Pino too, because that's how he is. He gonna do it just out of spite. A cop comes to Kanan's house and he tells him about the deal that Rock wants for him. He's like, I don't believe that. Even if she is with you, that's on her. I ain't done nothing. Y'all ain't got shit on me. And so the cop is like, you right. I did start looking and I couldn't really find nothing but some little petty crimes on you. But the fact that Rock is requesting immunity and witness protection for you, it must mean that she knows a lot more about you than I do. All I got to do is keep digging and I will find it. He tells Kanan that Rock is doing all this because she really loves him. If Kanan cares anything about her, he would either take the deal or encourage Rock to take the deal, because it's a target on her back. And if she don't take this deal, she gonna be dead in a week. Rock, she go visit Flossie and she asked her to intercede with Stefano on her behalf. And Flossie like, girl, I ain't finna do nothing for you. You are tragic and I done had enough tragedy in my life. I wish you the best of luck. I said, damn. Kanan, he asked Breeze about Rock. Why don't we just let her walk? Why don't we just put a little fear in her, tell her never to come back to New York, get out of here, and just let her go? Breeze like, you know, that ain't our call. Stefano got no love for Rock. He want her dead. He's pretty sure that he ain't gonna be able to change his mind. In that moment, I was like, damn, I saw Kanan's heart grow just a little bit. He was like the Grinch, because he really cared about Rock and don't want her to die. I was like, Kanan, I ain't seen no emotion from Kanan in, I don't know, 5-6 years. Rock's lawyer, she tells her that the cops have agreed to all of her terms. So she like, okay, Kanan in? And he's like, well, they talked to Kanan and Kanan refused the deal. And she's like, that's because Kanan ain't no snitch. His lawyer is like, okay, but Rock, you need to take this deal because you and Kanan in two very different places. And this is your lifeline deal. It's all you got at this point. Rock, she start thinking and she like, nah, Kanan right. Fuck the feds. Rock! I'm like, oh my gosh. Rock, you are a fool. Because I'm really hoping you don't die. I'm hoping you see it through. But if you do, I can't say I didn't see this coming, because you doing this to yourself. When has Kanan ever been right? Like, girl, if you don't say fuck this game and get out and save your life. Kanan, he meets two young dudes who want to get down with him. They want to do business with him. Hey, Ghost and Tommy. Kanan declines their offer because he says they too young. And I'm like, they are. Y'all, these kids look like they was in the 5th grade. What is going on? I had no idea that Tommy and Ghost were so much younger than Kanan. I thought they was all like the same age. Matter of fact, I thought they went to school together. It was funny to see them, but nice to see them. Juke, she show up to Marvin's casket and she just looks and she take a little lollipop and she put it down in his coat pocket and she just leaves. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, when is the funeral for Marvin? Because what are we doing here? Kanan, he goes to meet with Stefano. And he's like, look, I got a lot on my head. I'm starting to feel like I don't really need nothing else. I'm not really scared of killing folks. Like, I got no problem doing that. And matter of fact, I almost killed my mama earlier. Now I'm starting to have reservations. But Stefano's like, you know, your mama insulted me. And whether you believe it or not, her insults had implications on my business. Kanan's like, yeah, but I'm feeling like something inside of me is telling me I don't want this no more. All the shit that done happened between me and Rock, maybe this ain't the way that it needs to end. And I said, could this be Kanan finding out he gonna be a dad? He's like, my life is fucked, but maybe I can do right by my child? Kanan. Stefano says, I'll consider letting her live, but she would have to do something for me. Juke, she watches and she follows Kanan. And I said, Lord have mercy. Here we go again. Kanan, he meets up with Rock on the street. He said, you ain't feel comfortable enough meet with me at the house? And she's like, hell no, I don't trust you, Kanan. I need witnesses. And I said, absolutely. So Kanan said, you right. I don't even blame you for that. I'm going to tell y'all, this whole scene right here, I was boo-hoo crying. I'm talking about Viola Davis, ugly snot crying. Oh, y'all, this broke me. Because I feel like this is the scene we've been waiting on for 5 years. Kanan, immediately, he apologizes for Uncle Marvin. And Rock says, for what you did to him or because he gone? And Kanan said both. And this made me start crying immediately because in that moment, I really believed Kanan. I believed that he was sorry because I think, honestly, he did not mean to kill Uncle Lou. I think that was just a knee-jerk reaction, and it had happened before he could stop it. And then Marvin, while he meant to do it in the moment, I don't think he wanted to do it at all. And I think he was just a soldier following orders and not even, he was thinking with his head and not with his heart. But I do think that he felt bad about killing Marvin. Rock says, well, I heard you ain't take the feds deal. And he said, yeah, you know, that ain't me. And she like, well, me neither. I forgot who I was for a minute, but I'm going to fall for this flag before I fuck with the feds. Like a dummy. Anybody who want it can come and get it. And that includes you, Kanan. And Kanan said, but I don't want that. And he tells her that he went to Stefano on her behalf. And Stefano said that he would let her live, but she has to do something. She's like, what do you want me to do? And he said, I don't know, but it got to be better than being dead. She's like, damn. It wasn't until this very moment that I knew you didn't want me dead. She's like, you remember when you was little and I used to put you to sleep with that warm milk and you used to tell me that you never wanted me to die. You always wanted me with you. Look at the shit we in right now. Kanan says, I still don't want you dead. And y'all, I lost it. I was just crying because I knew that Kanan was being honest in that very moment. And we have rarely seen Kanan show any emotion, give a fuck about anything, anybody. But in this moment, I was like, yeah, Kanan was like, that's still my mama. And somewhere deep down inside of him, he still got feelings for her. He still loved her as his mother. She's like, damn, Kanan, that's the nicest thing you done said to me in years. Kanan's like, look, just go talk to Stefano. So he turns and he leaves. And Rock says, I blame myself for what happened. I blame myself for where things stand today. That don't mean I forgive you for everything. I can't. After all, you took my brothers from me. Nothing happens without me because I'm who raised you. I'm who made you, and you always gonna be mine, the good and the bad. And even though I know you don't believe it, and I know you haven't felt it in a while, but I loved you the best way I could. And it wasn't always right, and it wasn't always the best, but it was all I could give you, and it was in the way that I could give it to you. Kanan, you love me? And Kanan chokes for a moment, and he says, you my mama? And she says, nah, that don't mean nothing. And he said, look, out of all the shit you done to me, I have always believed that you could be better than this. I've been waiting on you to be the person I needed and the person I wanted you to be. But you keep letting me down. And it's really hard when the person who took your pride is the one person you still want to make proud of you. You never stop wanting your mama to care for you, even when that person has shown you that she can't care for you. After everything done happened, we can't undo these wrongs. But maybe we can get this one thing right. Ain't got to end like this for you. And y'all, I was broken. I was just crying. And Rock was crying. Kanan was tearing up. And she put her hand on his shoulder and she gave him a hug and she said, I'm sorry. Both started shedding tears and Kanan hugs her back. Yo! Because I tell you what, ain't nothing like a mama's love. Ain't nothing like when your mama go to war for you. Your mama love you through everything. Ooh, y'all, I was broken. So Kanan like, go talk to Stefano. Throughout this whole interaction, Juke is watching this. And in that moment, I said, okay, if Rock die, Juke gonna be the one to kill her. Because what better way to get even with Kanan than to make him feel the same loss as her? That's gonna hurt way worse than her just taking him out. An eye for an eye. And I said, but Juke, you gotta remember, with an eye for an eye, you're still blind. Stefano and Breeze, they meet. And Stefano said he worried about his business because he like, when Snaps and Pops was here, I felt like it was an adults in the room. And now he said it's all these little teeny boppers running around. And Bree's like, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Things ain't going to change. We got this. In walks Rock. And Stefano said, look what the devil them brought in. Give us a moment. And he tell Breeze to step away, but don't go too far. Stefano, he presents his idea to Rock. And he says, if you do this, you got to immediately leave, like within 24 hours and never come back. Or the deal is off and you're as good as dead. Let me guess. He wants you to kill Pino. Because what else could it be? She's like, well, why should I do this for you if when I do it, I can't never come back to my home? He said, because if you don't do this for me, you ain't going to make it back to your car. She starts thinking and she's like, well, I guess I ain't got much of a choice now, do I? He's like, well, look, if you was ugly, you would have already been dead. Kanan, he visits Marvin's casket. And I hate this moment because, not the fact that Kanan went to visit Marvin, but the fact that we never had a funeral for Marvin. Are you kidding me? I was like, y'all, come on. London Brown, salute, sir. You did the damn thing. You deserve better than this. I can't believe they just had you laid out in the funeral home. Like, ugh. Rock, she then go visits Marvin grave, and then she go by Juke house, and she like, Juke, no answer. Then she goes drive by their old house, and I said, Lord, this is looking like real Final Destination for you, Rock. I don't think you got much longer to go. Breeze, him and Kanan are talking. They counting up the money like, yo, we had a good day. And Breeze said, hey, I heard your mama might get a pass for real. And he said, respect. Because I get it. I would do the exact same for mine. So Rock, she goes to Pino's hotel. And just as I thought, she puts a bullet right in his head and 2 in his chest. And I'm like, Pino, you should have seen this coming. Because as soon as she turned around with the gun, he's like, fucking Stefano. And I'm like, yeah. So Rock, she go home. She start packing up. She like, okay, I'm getting out. And I thought, we almost there, Rock. We almost there. And in walks Juke with a gun. Rock like, Juke? And she said, hey, Aunt Rock, I'm sorry. And Rock said, oh, what you sorry for? I don't understand what you're doing. And she's like, and if I tried to make you understand, you still wouldn't. It's just something I got to do. Rock says, is this about Marvin? Because, I didn't do that. Juke says, no, I know. And she said, well, why are you doing it, Juke? Juke says, look her dead in the eye. And she says, Kanan. And Rock said, what Kanan got to do with me? And I'm like, Rock, everything Kanan got to do with you. Rock, she look over and she got a gun on the table, but she like, am I gonna make it? She run and try to get it. She don't make it. Juke shoot her in the side. She lay on her back. She grabbing her side and they just staring each other in the eye. And Juke goes, poop, poop, shoots her twice. And I said, damn it, Juke! Because in a way, I understand it. I get it. But damn, Rock! Y'all know I love Rock. I want Rock to make it. Juke, to make matters worse, she go tell Kanan what she did. I said, Juke is cold. Juke don't give a fuck at this point. Kanan like, nah, I don't believe it. If that's the case, why you ain't just come after me? And she said, well, that was the plan. But then I saw y'all and I said, I knew it. I knew it. I realized exactly what I had said. I want you to have nothing, just like me. I want you to go through life alone. I want you to still be alive, but everybody who love and care about you to be gone, because that's way worse than being dead. And Kanan like, Juke, you just alone as I am. The world just as cold for you. And she said, yeah, but knowing I did this to you, that'll keep me warm for a long while. And for me, that's enough. Kanan's like, you know, I could just kill you myself. And she said, well, have at it. I don't care at this point. I said, damn, Juke really ain't got nothing to lose. Kanan, he get up and he leave. And Juke fuck with his head one last time. And she said, you know, Rock ain't never loved you no way. Because at the end, she begged me to take you out instead of her. And I said, damn, QJZ. They say you can't turn a bad girl good, but once a good girl's gone bad, she's gone forever. And I knew wasn't no getting Juke back at this point. So Kanan go to Rock's house. He find her body. He sit down and he just stare at her face. And it ends. And I said, job well done! Excellent, excellent. Now, y'all, I cried a lot. Ooh, but I thought this was a great episode. I am mad that Stefano lived. Like, what? Why we didn't take him out? I still feel some kind of way about him. I'm mad we didn't have a funeral for Marvin, so I had to give him one on my own. Excellent ending to the show. I'm really sad about Rod. Y'all know I loved Rod. Great ending. And shout out to Makai Curtis. There is nobody in the Power universe that I hate more than you, Kanan. I thought Tyreek was bad, but bro, you take the cake. Patina Miller, who played Rock, and Haley Kilgore, who played Juke, y'all. And of course, London Brown. Oh, I love London Brown. So job well done, y'all. This has been my favorite Power spinoff. Now, I've been rocking with y'all for what, like 10, 12 years, something, ever since the Power universe. But this has definitely been my favorite. I'm going to keep rocking with y'all as long as y'all out here making hits. But I have loved this show. I am so sad to see it gone. Man. Whew. But I loved it. Great job. Excellent job to the writers, to the producers, everybody involved with this project. I don't know why y'all don't all have Emmys for this show. What was we doing? Y'all let me know what y'all thought of this season, this finale, just everything. Get in these comments. Let me know what you thought. I'm your TV movie bestie. I'm on all the socials. Like, subscribe, and follow. And I will see y'all on the next show, on the next episode. Bye, besties.